Hey, what's going on, everyone? How are you guys doing? I just realized I forgot to change the picture for this thing here, so let's go ahead and do that. Not sure what to expect out of this show tonight because I personally do not really watch Impact that much, but I figure we will go over the show a little bit here, talk about some interesting things that happened on the show because it was very good. It was very, very good. All right, let me fix this real quick. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. How are you guys doing, Marcel, Chloe, Flavietto, Daryl? How are you guys doing, my friend? Moose is a star, man. I absolutely agree. I don't know much about Moose, and I don't know much about Impact, but Moose is awesome, man. Moose is awesome. They call me Nova says pizza. Oh, yeah, man. We ate a carne asada pizza during Hard to Kill. It was so good. Oh, my God. It was so good. I give it 3 woos. PWR says, hey, I don't watch Impact, but I'm here to chill. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. It was a good show. It was a good show. It started off pretty slow, in my opinion, but it did certainly pick up towards the end. And of course, history has been made tonight. Kenny Omega wrestled on Impact. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy thing to see. David says Moose had more chemistry with Omega than Rich Swann. That's what I'm telling you, man. That's what I've been telling you. That's what I've been telling everyone. I don't think that we are going to have Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann. I don't think that's the match. I really don't. They call me Nova says, who is the place that has all those kind of creations? Man, we're hunting down all sorts of crazy things. We are in, so for the food stuff, we have, my fiance is in a bunch of food groups on Facebook for our city. And people just post things on there, so we hunt them down and go have them. It was incredible. It was incredible. You forgot to ring the doorbell. Yeah, I don't have it yet. I don't have it yet. I'm a huge fan of Moose. He was a beast in Ring of Honor, and he's a beast with Impact. Yeah, I really think that Moose has a bright future ahead of him. I really do, and I think his time is coming soon. Marcel says people kind of flipped on Omega versus Swann, and now they want Omega versus Moose. Of course they do. Of course they do. I've been saying it for weeks. Omega versus Moose is the match. Omega versus Moose is the match. Not Omega and Rich Swann. What a time to be alive, says Obi James. Yes, man. What a time to be alive. It is crazy. It is crazy. So, like I was saying, I have no idea what to expect from this. I can't really deep dive into anything for Impact because I do not watch it regularly. I do kind of follow some things that are happening here and there, so I do kind of understand some things, but yeah, we'll just kind of be going over the show a little bit and talking about some of the stuff, maybe where some people are going to end up, because we do have a few people here that could end up leaving and going somewhere else. We also saw some crazy stuff in the main event tonight. Not only the match itself, but the outcome and some of the apparel that 3 of the wrestlers were wearing to the ring. Very, very interesting. Crazy Ginger Jake says, loved Omega having a Bullet Club shirt on. Yes. Kenny Omega had a Bullet Club shirt. Carl Anderson had a Bullet Club hoodie. Doc Gallows had a Bullet Club like singlet on, and it was a huge logo on the side of his pants. Woo back, baby. Here you go, my friend. I'll give these to you. Some moves. Flash, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you again. Jake says I watch Impact every week. Maybe you can help us out with a couple of things here. So yeah, we're just going to do a quick rundown of this show. I thought it was a pretty good show, like I said. What did you guys think? What did you guys think of tonight's Impact Hard to Kill? Pretty good show. I thought it started off a little bit slow, but it certainly did pick up. And overall, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'm still not going to start watching Impact. All right. Not regularly. I've tuned into Impact pay-per-views a couple times, and they've exceeded my expectations. Every time that happens, though, I tune in to watch Impact, and it's just not for me. I can't ever tell you, I can't tell anyone what it is, but I just feel like Impact is missing something. There's just something missing there. And I cannot tell you what it is. I have no idea, but it just feels like it's lacking something, and it's something big enough to turn me off of the show. I don't know if it's a bunch of little things or just one big thing. It's not crowd or crowd noises or anything. Maybe it's just like huge superstars. I don't know, but there's something or some things just completely turning me off from the weekly TV program. I don't know what it is. I feel like a lot of people feel that same way as well. Maybe one day I'll actually figure it out. Marcel says Impact doesn't have big stars. Yeah. I mean, they have a really talented roster. The match quality in Impact is always pretty good from what I've seen. So that's why I don't know what it is. I really don't. Marcel says, hear me out. Omega versus Swan, where Omega wins, and down the line, Moose versus Omega, where Moose reclaims the Impact Championship. You could do that. I think I have the story, though. I think I have it. We'll talk about it here in a little bit. Daryl says, I haven't watched Impact since AJ Hogan, Bully Ray, and Jay Lethal. So yeah, that was quite a while ago. Nova says, Ethan Page is the master of comedy. Yes, that was... Ethan Page versus Karate Man was one of the things that I wanted to see tonight, and it certainly did not disappoint. Very interesting. Kobe says, Impact needs a huge star. Moose as the heel and possibly Zack Ryder as the babyface. Impact doesn't have a Moxley or Omega like an AEW or a Roman Reigns or Drew. That could very well be it. It just always seems like their shows are missing something. It really does. Like they're just on the brink, I think, of turning a corner for me to be able to watch their shows. I still like, with this whole crossover thing, I've been kind of paying attention. So some of the shows where Omega and the Good Brothers have been teased to be together, I've watched some of them through. Obviously, I haven't been covering them, though, unless it is the AEW stuff. But sometimes I just tune in every now and then if I'm sitting at my computer. I'll check in to see if Omega's doing anything on there, if he's been on yet. Same for Twitter. They always post them on Twitter. So, I mean, I think that is one of the huge... I mean, it's... Social media is a blessing and a curse. So, for them, if you're not tuning in to watch Impact, it doesn't really matter because seconds after the segment is over, the whole video of it's on Twitter. So, you have a 2 to 4 minute, 5 minute segment with Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. So if you don't watch the show, you can just watch it there. So it's kind of a give and take. FQ says, when is WrestleMania 37? WrestleMania 37 is on Saturday, April 10th and Sunday, April 11th. And I guess we should talk about that as well really quickly. I will just brief over that. Jaden says, what's up, AEW? How you doing, my friend? How are you? So, okay. For WWE friends that are here, WWE earlier announced the next 3 WrestleManias. So we're going to be having another pirate-themed WrestleMania this year, and it will also be too big for one night. This year, it will be taking place on Saturday, April 10th and Sunday, April 11th. It will be at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, and there will be fans. There will be fans at WrestleMania this year. At what capacity? I have no idea. But the crowds will be there. They will be there. They have not released any of the ticket information yet, but on their WWE corporate website, they do say that tickets will be available. They're figuring it out, and they everything will be safe. You know, everything will be taken into account for everyone's health, the COVID-19, all of that stuff. Everyone should be protected and probably tested before entering, but who knows? So it should be pretty good. Will be interesting to see what they put together. And like I said, it will be the pirate theme once again. The following year, WWE announced that WrestleMania 38 will take place on Sunday, April 3rd in 2022. This one will be at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The following year, WrestleMania goes Hollywood. WrestleMania 39 airs on Sunday, April 2nd in 2023 and will be live from SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California. So there is your WrestleMania update for those of you that are into WWE as well, which I'm assuming is almost all of you. So good news. Also, if you haven't watched that video that they posted, the little news segment thing with Triple H, Stephanie, John Cena, Sasha Banks, and I feel like there's someone else that I'm forgetting. It was really good. Go watch it. It's on their YouTube. It's on their Twitter and stuff as well. So very good. Woo says, really, is fans confirmed? Yes, fans are confirmed. But like I said, we don't know what capacity they'll be in yet. It could be very, very small amount of fans. I certainly don't think they're going to be packing that stadium full. Not at all. Yes, so they did slightly modify the pirate logo for WrestleMania this year. Daryl says that low-key has COVID-19 written all over it. Yes, very possible. But it does say that they will follow all sort of protocols and they will make sure that they're doing the best that they can. So I'm assuming they won't have any problems filling the seats. I don't think so. Jaden says, I think I made some people mad in your comments for saying the 2-day WrestleManias are annoying. I would completely agree with you. I'm not a fan of the 2-day WrestleManias. I don't want to have to watch SmackDown on Friday, WrestleMania Night 1 on Saturday, WrestleMania Night 2 on Sunday, and then Raw on Monday. That 4 days straight of WWE is brutal. And especially now, we're going to have 4 post shows in a row. I'm just going to have to start doing this every single night, I guess, at that point. Oh, Roman Reigns was in it as well. Yes, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman were in it as well. That is correct. Thank you, Kobe. Mania 38 logo looks like the 25th anniversary. Yeah, it does. It does. Kobe says, in my opinion, WrestleMania being one night feels more special. I think so too. It should just really be like highly focused. It shouldn't be so filled with content that it doesn't need to be filled with. Last year's WrestleMania was very bleh. How's that going to work with Fans Night 1 and 2? I have no idea. They have not released anything on fans, just that they will be taking the protocols seriously and everyone will be protected as much as possible. So anyways, enough talk about WWE. We are here for Impact. We are here for Hard to Kill. So let's talk about Hard to Kill. Tonight's Hard to Kill started off, oh God, I'm going to have to read these because I personally don't know all of these people. So tonight's Impact Hard to Kill started off with a mixed tag match between Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K taking on Rosemary and Crazy Steve, who are the Decay. The next match, there was a lot of people in the next match. The next match was a trios match with Eric Young, Joe Doring, and Cody Deaner taking on Tommy Dreamer, Rhino, and Cousin Jake in an old school match. The next up was the finals in the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship Tournament that saw Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan taking on Havoc and Nevaeh. Next up, we had a huge surprise for the night. I was not expecting this. I don't know if anyone caught wind of this before the show. I certainly did not, but Matt Cardona was hard to kill tonight. always ready and hard to kill. He briefly took on Austin Ace, or Ace Austin. Ace Austin, my apologies. It was very quick, but we will get to that when we get to that. Next up was one of my favorite matches from the night, where we saw Manik defending his X Division Championship against Rohit Raju and Chris Bay. Next up, one of my favorite women wrestlers today, we saw Deonna Purrazzo taking on Taya Valkyrie. She was defending her Impact Knockouts Championship. Some good stuff here. Afterwards, we saw one of the a cinematic masterpiece. Cinematic masterpiece is what I would call it. One of the best cinematic matches of all time. Ethan Page versus Karate Man. Jesus. Next up, we saw a backstage segment here with Moose talking to Don Callis. Something brewing here. Possibly something brewing. This next match was absolutely insane. It was a barbed wire massacre match, which saw Sami Callihan taking on Eddie Edwards in the feud that never ends, apparently. Impact announced their next pay-per-view called Rebellion, taking place on Saturday, April 24th. Very interesting thing about this pay-per-view, I think, as well. Next up, we had the main event, which was crazy and will have everyone buzzing for quite a while. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers taking on Rich Swann, Moose, and Chris Sabin. Good stuff tonight. Good stuff tonight. Obi James says Page versus Karate Man is greater than the Boneyard match. Marcel says Moose to AEW would be money. Yes. Deonna Purrazzo is fantastic. I completely agree. I love Deonna Purrazzo. I'm so happy that she is in Impact doing what she does best. Glad to see that happen. They call me Nova says Manik. I'm not TJ Perkins. Yeah, Manik is probably not TJP. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that. Pretty safe to say. Obi James says Impact is legit hard to kill. Yeah, man, I thought the show was pretty good, like I was saying. Unfortunately for me, I didn't really catch much of this opening match here. I have no idea what is going on with Rosemary, Crazy Steve, Tennille Dashwood, and this Caleb with the K guy. I have no clue. My fiance did tell me earlier that this Caleb with the K guy is dating Chris Statlander from AEW, so I thought that was pretty weird and pretty interesting as well. No Hack says Caleb is Tennille's cameraman. Yeah, I've seen a couple of things from them, but I don't quite understand where this feud came from or anything as well. Nova says we saw a heart come out. Forget Randy burning the Fiend alive. That was hardcore. Yeah, we did see a heart come out. Decay looks dope. Yeah, they look pretty cool. I like their music as well. I didn't pay too much attention to this match, unfortunately, because I was busy trying to get this WrestleMania stuff out. Ha, Chris with a K. Yes. Caleb with a K and Chris Statlander with a K are dating. Yes. Yeah, so I was watching this WrestleMania report news video thing, and I was taking screenshots, and I was typing away on my phone here, so I missed most of this opening match. I can't tell you if it was good or not, but what I can tell you is that Rosemary and Crazy Steve got the win over Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K. Big Chicken says rip Ethan Page. Yes, may he rest in peace. Marcel says I kind of want Omega versus Matt Cardona for some reason. I would love to see it. No Hack says to explain, Rosemary and Crazy Steve used to be in a stable called Decay and rejoined to face Tennille and Caleb. Fair enough. Fair enough. Big Chicken says, do you think this year's WrestleMania will have a cool stage, or will it be like last year's? I'm hoping that it has a cool stage. I really hope it does. It's the least that they could do, all right? It's the least that they could do. No matter where they are, they should be able to have a cool stage. It's WrestleMania. It's the grandest stage of them all, isn't it? So why not do the stage a little bit of love? Have a nice, unique stage. Next up, we saw a triple threat match that saw Eric Young, Joe Doring, I have no idea, Cody Deaner taking on Tommy Dreamer, Rhino, and Cousin Jake. I'm also not too familiar with what is going on here. I do know that Cody Deaner and Cousin Jake were a tag team of some sorts, and Eric Young kind of took over Cody Deaner and had this man's shave and his head and his beard and all that looking crazy. So good to see Eric Young over here as well. Good to see him creating a stable here with everyone thinks it's Jake the Snake Roberts, which I thought too. I swear this is like his long lost brother or his son or something. This man's has to be related to Jake Roberts. He's got to be. It's in an arena. It should have the damn pirate ship where we were promised. Yeah, Kevin Owens posted a picture of the pirate ship. He wants to jump off of it. He wants to jump off of it. They planned an entire pirate ship and other stuff, so I would think that they would try to make the stage look good. Yeah, hopefully they'll take the plans from last year and just make them happen this year. That'd be pretty good. Anyways, Eric Young, Joe Doring, and Cody Deaner get the win over Tommy Dreamer, Rhino, and Cousin Jake. This match was pretty good to me. Like I said, I don't know too much that's going on with this feud or anything, but I did enjoy the match. One of the really cool things about this match, though, that I really liked, and I hope that maybe some other people start picking up, is they had a triple camera feed going on. So you could see, like, in these chaotic matches where you have 6 people in the ring, 6 people doing all sorts of crazy things, it's really hard to follow the action. It's really hard it seems like for the TV producers or whatever to put the correct things on the screen when they should, and they're switching away and all of that. So it was really cool to see this triple feed here where you could literally see everything that was going on. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I loved it. It was very cool to see, and like I said, I hope other people adopt it. I do. Big Chicken says, it just sucks knowing that Kairi Sane wouldn't be able to have a pirate ship entrance. Yeah. That is very true. Violence by Design is a new stable who has come together to clean wrestling, and Cousin Jake, aka Jake Something, is teaming up with Dreamer and Rhino to try and get Deaner back to normal. Fair enough. Fair enough. I like the Violence by Design name. I think that's very cool. Very cool. It fits them. The only thing is just that Joe Doring doesn't really seem to fit in. He's got some luscious locks going on there, and everyone else is bald. So I think he needs to get to shaving. Needs to get to shaving so he can fit in with the rest of them. Flash says, I bet Joe Doring can play blackjack and have 22. There you go. Raju says, man, Royal Rumble without a crowd is like shit and it's sad. Yep. Just wait till you hear those WWE 2K20 countdowns from 10 for when everyone comes in. You know, the one interesting thing about the whole fake crowd thing is that you can get an idea of what WWE wants you to do. So you can get a feel for who they want you to cheer and boo, and for how loud. Because when Triple H was on TV, they literally jacked the volume up to 20. Like, my ears were bleeding. That's how loud it was. It was terrible. For a while, Eric Young has been saying it's by design for a while now, and it finally makes sense. I like it. I've seen a lot of the Eric Young promo videos. I do follow him on Twitter, I believe. So I've seen a lot of the promo videos and stuff with him and Cody Deaner. They're fantastic. They're really good. They Call Me Nova says, Impact made it work tonight with the crowd noise. Do we know if there was a crowd in attendance, or was that all fake and piped in? Because I did hear someone yell at Kenny. And it's so, you know, it'd be very specific to just have a general crowd noise. But it sounded good. It was, whether it was real or fake, it sounded way more natural. The crowds are not that loud all the time. Crowds are not screaming when you're just in a headlock. You know? Crowds are certainly not screaming when you're giving a promo. And I've seen some clips of Raw Talk, and I'm not sure about Talking Smack. Maybe Talking Smack too. But even on those shows, they have the crowd noise piped in. Why do they have crowd noise piped in on Raw Talk or Talking Smack? What in the world? Marcel says, no crowd, it's fake noise. They did a fantastic job at it. It was good. It was very good. It was noticeable that it was present, and it didn't take away from anything. I really liked it. No Hack says, I'm pretty sure it was fake because the main event, it sounded pretty faded. Okay. So fake it is. They did a fantastic job then. I really enjoyed it. I don't think that it took away anything, and I actually feel like it gave to it without it just being dead air all of the time. One of the things that I feel like Impact really needs to do, obviously their production needs a little bit of assistance. There was a couple of errors that I saw when they were showing a match card, and the match card froze because the graphic was supposed to be over, but they continued to talk over for like 25 seconds, 30 seconds, commentary did, before they went to the next thing. Also, at the end of the show, I feel like they cut the show too early. It seemed like the Good Brothers were going for a too sweet with Kenny, but Kenny didn't see it, so they started walking up the ramp. So I had assumed that if they would have given the show another 20, 30 seconds, that they would have walked up to the top of the ramp, did a little pose, did the too sweet, and the show would have went off the air. So they definitely need a little bit more help in the production area. And for me personally, this is just probably a personal preference of mine, but when someone's coming out, when their entrance is going down, I want that music to be rumbling. I want it so loud. I want it like rocking the entire house. I feel like Impact's music is very, very quiet. Very quiet. And I feel like it takes away from the entrances a lot. It needs to be roaring. Like, that's how I like my entrance music. Marcel says they posted that too sweet spot on Twitter. Of course. Of course they did. God damn it. Big Chicken says, was the women's tag title match good? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I thought it was very good. I was very impressed. Very impressed with it. But yeah, so of course, you know, they posted the too sweet thing on Twitter. They should have had that. That should have been the closing moments of the show. It really should have. They screwed me. They screwed me because I had to post a very subpar picture as my wrap-up photo. And I only had 10 minutes to get all of this scheduled. I had to make this, all of this stuff in 10 minutes. So, but yeah, just a few production things that I feel like they could change. One of the things that I noticed that I was going to wait to talk about until the X Division match, but the commentary was good. The commentary was much better, especially during that X Division match. That's where I feel like I saw them come alive. It was great. The commentary during that match was fantastic. One of the things that I like that is missing from WWE is that Michael Cole is literally screaming all the time. At all hours of the day, this man is shouting at the top of his lungs. It doesn't matter what he's doing. He's screaming. If someone gets put in a headlock, he's like, by God, they're in a headlock. And it's like, oh my God, okay, relax. We should just be chatting, okay? Oh, X person put X in a headlock. Oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. Cool, cool, cool. Something crazy happens. That's when you raise your voice. You get everyone into it. You get everyone excited. And I really miss that from WWE because Michael Cole literally is just screaming. No Hack says the only issue with commentary is that they don't know most names of the moves and it kind of hurts the moment. I can definitely see that. This was Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown's first night on Impact commentary. For me, since I don't watch Impact, like I said, and I'm not familiar with everyone and all of their moves and stuff, it sounded good to me. It sounded good. I had no issues with it. I enjoyed it. I definitely think it was better than what Madison Rayne and Josh Matthews. Definitely thought it was an improvement over that. And, you know, I'm assuming that they'll get chemistry together. They'll start to work a little bit better as they continue to go on and get familiar with all the talent and all of their moves and stuff like that. There was a lot of things that they talked about on commentary that I liked as well. You know, about pinning, about trying to put as much weight on your opponent as they possibly can, because even if they're going to be kicking out, you want them to exert as much energy as possible to do it. So just stuff like that I really like, and I heard that a lot on commentary. I heard a lot of stuff like that. The one thing that drove me nuts about commentary tonight that I will mention is that during this X Division triple threat match, they constantly just called Manic TJP. And I'm gonna say this now, okay? Manic is probably not TJP. Let's get that out of the way. So that just kind of drove me nuts. It's kind of like, just call him Manic. Like, let's just make sure that you call him that. Even though that you're insinuating that he is TJP, just continue to call him Manic. That was my only complaint from commentary tonight. Edwin, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you in here. Joe Papa Nation says Mauro Ranallo is the greatest. I miss Mauro so much. I do. Joey Styles from ECW. No Hack says Josh Matthews got to be the worst commentator I've ever heard. Yeah, I was never really a big fan of the Impact commentary. Obi James says Mauro has the power to make a match better. Exactly, and that's what you should be doing as a commentator. When everything is kicking in all cylinders, it really makes it have that feel. There's a difference, if you strip away some of the things. You could watch a 5-star match with no crowd and with no commentary. It's still going to be a good match, right? But the crowd is going to liven it up just a little bit, get you excited for those big moments. And then commentary, man, they're supposed to be putting the guys over, kind of telling you the ropes, how things work. And they should be making things feel big. When big things happen, they need to raise their voices. They need to get excited as well, which kind of just completes the whole package. Joe Papa Nation says Mauro with Corey Graves would be great. I wouldn't mind that. Mauro gets so much hate for his commentary. I don't know why either. He's so good. People would rather hear Michael Cole scream "It's boss time" than hear Mauro call some great stuff. I know that a lot of people don't like the pop culture references, but everything else is great. I love the Mamma Mias, man. I miss the Mamma Mia chants. Those are so good. So good. Okay, so where are we at? All right, so we are at the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship Tournament Finals. This is interesting. These belts look pretty good. I have no problem with these belts looking pretty good. The final match here was Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan taking on Havoc and Nevaeh. I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with them, but I haven't really watched any of them wrestle, so I don't really know what's going on other than a tournament. But I did enjoy this match. It was great. Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan looked fantastic. Nevaeh looked good as well. But man, Havoc, she had some awesome powerhouse moves here in this match that really stood out. And overall, I thought this was a fantastic match. It was really good. Really, really good to see what the knockouts bring to the table here in Impact. Marcel says they don't like his random pop culture stuff and his constant screaming. You got to do it, man. You got to do whatever it takes to liven up the crowd. Big moments require big voices. That's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion. I think it really calls for it. But yeah, this match was fun. It was interesting, and we crowned some champions here. Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan defeated Havoc and Nevaeh to become the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. These titles were presented to them by Gail Kim and Madison Rayne, I believe. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. It's just really a tournament with a little bit of story, and the match was really impressive. Yeah, like I said, I liked this match. I really did. I thought it was great. They know how to use their women. Impact has a very diverse group of women talent. I like it. You have all aspects of them. You have your bigger people like Havoc that are strong, and why can't I think of her name? Jordan Grace. Then you have your technical people as well. You got your spoopy people. You got Rosemary. You got Sue Young, who is Susan now. So lots of interesting characters, lots of interesting stuff going on. I like it. Joe Papanation says you need to start your own wrestling promotion. Yeah. How crazy would that be? If only I had like $20 million, right? Although I did enjoy playing Fire Promoter on Fire Pro. I need to get back into it because that was a lot of fun. Being able to sign talent and book the matches and all the stuff like that. Nova says Impact knows how to really utilize the women's tag championships. Yeah, they really do. I thought this was good. You guys know that I love me some tournaments as well. I love tournaments. They're fantastic. I would love to see more tournaments everywhere. It's good stuff. Very, very good stuff. Havoc is kind of like Impact's Nia Jax, except way better and safe. Yeah. What Nia Jax wishes she was. And then maybe we wouldn't call her Big Oof. Mauro Ranallo is basically a modern day Jim Ross. Man, it probably just matters in what era of wrestling you grew up watching. But to me, JR and the King are the GOATs. They really are just the GOATs for me. It was like the perfect combination of people. You had JR, who was straight shooter, calling it like it is, and then you had JR, who was just off his rocker, crazy man, shouting all sorts of ridiculous things about puppies and being a heel and all that stuff. That was fantastic to me. Like, that is my all-time favorite commentary team right there. Marcel says you should watch the G1 if you like tournaments. I usually try to watch the G1, but usually what happens is I'm aware of the G1. I know somewhat when it starts, and then I just completely forget. And then I hear that someone won the G1, and I'm like, God damn it. I missed it again. Just a normal account says, hey, AOW, how was the Impact pay-per-view? It was good. It was very good. Did you watch Impact Super X Cup last week? I didn't. No. I don't tune into Impact very much. I try to catch some of their pay-per-views when they're on Fight and stuff like that and cover them. I'm still on the fence of always getting into Impact. Maybe someday their shows will impress me and I'll come in. Who knows with this crossover stuff? There's so much stuff that they could do. I really don't even think they've scratched the surface. Woo Back Baby says, do you play video games? Of course. Of course. I play tons of video games. Tons and tons and tons of video games. And I'm just about to start reviving my gaming channel. It's been like 6 months since I posted anything on it. I think the plan is going to be finishing up Fire Pro Wrestling. And then I think we'll start on some other stuff. And then I think I'm also, during that, I'm going to start Wrestling Empire on Switch. Just because it's so ridiculous. So I think what I'll do is I'll have like a couple things rotating out every couple of days. So it'll probably be like Wrestling Empire. And then I want to start one of the longer games. Or maybe that'll just be reserved for a stream. I want to play Breath of the Wild really bad. Really bad. I played tons of games. Pretty much any game that you can think of, I've pretty much played it. Unless they're PlayStation exclusives. To be honest, I kind of want to see WWE being involved in some sort of crossover, but it's not good shit by, yes, I don't think it would be labeled as good shit at all by Vince McMahon, unfortunately. And I don't think Impact or AEW, New Japan, or Ring of Honor, I don't think they want Gold coming in there to squash their talent in 2 minutes either, win their world titles. I hope 2K22 is as good as the devs are saying. Yeah, I doubt it. I'm not pre-ordering that shit. I'm good. I'll probably buy it just for the content because I always play through the career modes, but that's going to be about it. That's all I did for 2K20. I played through the career mode. I put it down. I haven't picked it up since. So anyways, this match was fantastic. Like I said, we crowned some new Impact Knockouts women's tag team champions. I guess you don't have to say women's because that's what Knockout is. Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan. Very good stuff here. Very good stuff. Next up was a huge surprise. I was not expecting this. Not expecting this at all. Matt Cardona was hard to kill. He was hard to kill tonight. I had no intentions of seeing him pop up tonight. It was fantastic. He came out and had a little A little tiny match here with Ace Austin. What do you guys think? 2 minutes? Probably about somewhere around 2 minutes or so. And Madman Fulton ended up coming in and getting involved, causing our favorite thing in the world, a disqualification. So I'm assuming that they're going to be battling probably on the TV show. Probably on Tuesday night on Impact. We'll probably see Matt Cardona as well. The thing that was kind of irritating about this is that the commentary team had no idea what Matt Cardona was really here for. They don't know if this was just a one night thing. And I mean, if it's a one night thing, like, how dumb would that be? Right? Like, if you brought in Matt Cardona just to wrestle in it for 2 minutes and have a disqualification, I really hope that's not the case, because that would be incredibly dumb and make absolutely no sense. So I'm assuming he is going to be involved in a couple of shows, maybe have a little feud with Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. Maybe he'll team up with Brian Myers and they'll do some sort of tag thing. I don't know. Maybe he has officially decided where he wants to go, and he has decided to land and stay in Impact. We have no idea. I was actually under the impression that he still had more commitments with AEW. But apparently I'm wrong, or maybe he can just kind of do whatever the hell he wants. Just a normal account says must be Saturday. Pretty much, yep. Leroy says, I wish that Impact would bring back the television championship. They have a lot of championships though, don't they? Right now? Seems like they have quite a bit. For just having one show, it's kind of a lot. Marcel says DQ on a pay-per-view is the worst thing ever. 100%. I feel like there could have been a better way to set up a feud like this, but it's really hard to judge a show when you don't really watch it. So I don't know. I hear nothing but great things about Ace Austin though. Everyone says that this guy has a very bright future ahead of him. So very, very much looking forward to see what this guy's got, and definitely going to pay some close attention as well. Wu says, I want to see more match types that we have not seen before on new ones, but that are cool in all wrestling promotions. Are you talking about wrestling games? Wrestling games? If you are, I'll say this really quick about wrestling games. I've been saying this ever since I started playing Rainbow Six Siege when it came out. Rainbow Six Siege is how a wrestling game should be built. Okay? Take all the time you need. However long 2K needs to build out a solid game. Okay? They come out, let's just say it's 2K22. They come out with a solid base game. Solid. Okay? Now, instead of rewriting this game and re-releasing it, all you need to do is build onto it. Build onto it. Don't take it away. You don't need to release a whole entire new game to have a new career mode. Build on top of it. Release a 2023 career mode. Release a women's career mode. Release a tag team career mode, kind of like stories. You can do all of that stuff. Updated attires, all of that. Just pump it in as DLC. Just keep going and going and going. I don't think people would have a problem with buying DLCs as long as they didn't have to spend $100 on a game every single year just to disappoint them. So if that's what you're talking about, that's my take on that. If that's not what you're talking about, that's my take on that anyways. Because we're too late now. Cardona is better in AEW, in Impact than AEW. Matt is really average compared to a lot of guys in AEW. I like Matt Cardona, but I think that AEW is too full. AEW is full. They're way too full. They're overflowing. So I don't think they need to add anyone else currently. If they're going to have a second show that's starting like now, yesterday, sure, maybe add a couple more. But if not, no, it's full. He means more match types in wrestling in general. Oh yeah. Wait, well, my apologies, but you know what? Now you have some insight on how I think 2K should build their games. I think it'd be a much better game. Anyways, I'm assuming we'll see some sort of follow up with this on Tuesday's episode of Impact. Next up, we had one of my favorite matches from the night. This was some good stuff. We had Manik defending his X Division Championship against Rohit Raju and Chris Bay. Chris Bay is amazing. First of all, let me just say that. Chris Bay is fantastic. I think he also has a very, very bright future ahead of him. This match was fantastic. Very, very good. I did like the women's tag team match before this, but this is really, like, to me, this is really where the show just took off. This show really, really took off right here for me. This was a good one. All of these guys absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it. Everything in this match was fantastic. I'm not surprised to see Manik retain either. And just so we're clear, Manik is definitely not TJP. Okay, if you think that Manik is TJP, you are probably crazy. There's no way. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. No Hack says Rohit is probably one of my favorites of 2020. I've seen a little bit of him, and I like him as well. I think he's great. Also, his music is very interesting. It reminds me of like an early 2000, like 3-ish Eminem production. That's what it sounds like to me. It's good. I like it. I like it a lot. Obi James says Chris Bay is great. Yes, he is. He definitely is going to be a star. Marcel says Cody wanted to sign Chris Bay and Impact hired him the day he said that. Crazy. Not surprised, but it seems like they're doing okay by him in Impact. If they're not, people are noticing his work. So if he's not happy there, I'm sure he'll have offers when he's done to go to WWE or AEW. Chris Bay, I think, has a lot of potential. You'll love to see it. Nova says the X Division is a trademark of Impact. Yeah, I think I've noticed that from throughout the years. I've seen the X Division be talked about a lot. Chris Bay is that good, that young? Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's crazy to think all of these younger people coming in that are just that damn good. The future of professional wrestling looks fantastic, man. With the landscape of people that are coming out right now that are up and comers. Whew. Ooh, it's going to be a good one. Going to be a good one. Especially, like, just imagine when NXT is no longer this incarnation of NXT and all of those other people are wrestling in WWE on the main roster, quotes, if you will. Very impressive, man. Very impressive. All of these people on Dark who are killing it as well. Danny Limelight, that guy performed extremely well in that trios match last week on Dynamite as well. So you have lots of good up and comers. I really like Alex Reynolds and John Silver as well as a tag team. They have incredible chemistry together. I know this is not Impact related, but what do you think of the WrestleMania report? I thought it was great. It was nice to see some goofy stuff that was filmed very well. And I like it. It's always nice to see WWE not take themselves so seriously. It's okay to have some fun. It's okay. You just need the right people to have some fun. And Triple H and Stephanie were perfect for this. John Cena was perfect. Roman Reigns was not perfect, but he fit into his role perfect. See where I'm going? Sasha Banks was fantastic as well. The whole thing was great. It was great. Roman Reigns wasn't goofy. He was straight to the point. He had Paul do the other stuff. It was good. I really liked it. I also got a huge pop for the Hugh Can't See Me. Was great. Very, very great. Obi James says, remember when Impact relied on legends for their shows? I do not because I never watched TNA before. I've seen some of it on Twitch during nights when I'm working and there's nothing else on. I put that on just to watch a couple things. X division is the work rate divisions like the WCW cruiserweights. I'm always seem to be very impressed by the X division. Nova says perfect timing on having fun into the next segment of Impact. Well, we had one more match. We had the Knockouts Championship match. Who do you think is the masked man that is guiding Xia Li on NXT? Well, Woo, I have a spoiler alert for you. 1, it's not Andrade. I don't know why people keep saying that it's Andrade. 2, it's not a man. Not a man. It's a woman. It's a woman. The Woo Man. I'm not sure when we will find out who it is or when they will reveal who it is either. I've heard the name. I just can't ever remember the name. It's like M something Seiko or something like that. I can't remember. That's what I think it is though. John Cena part was a thumbs up. I completely agree. I loved that. It's definitely not TJP. The person that is first of all, Manic is not TJP, okay? Manic is probably not TJP. Suicide is certainly not TJP. And you know what? The masked person guiding Xia Li and Boa, it might just be TJP. Maybe it is. It might be. Maybe that's where the cross promotion is coming in there with NXT and Impact. They got TJP over there pretending to be some sort of Chinese leader. Wu says it's the one and only Goldberg. It's Eva Marie. It's not Eva Marie. It's not. It's not Eva Marie, I promise you. I think Eva Marie is supposed to be in some sort of segment or some sort of manager relationship with Angel Garza. So I think you're pretty safe there. Next up, we had the Knockout Championship match. This saw Deonna Purrazzo, which, oh God. My autocorrect butchered her name. Deonna Purrazzo taking on Taya Valkyrie for the Knockouts Championship. This was fantastic, man. I am a huge fan of Deonna Purrazzo. Very happy to see her do what she does best and all of that. I'm trying to change up her name really quick because spelling people's names wrong is super embarrassing. Purrazzo. There we go. Change her name to put an A instead of an O. Okay. So it's always fantastic to see those people that you know who are very talented, who get stuck in the WWE machine doing absolutely nothing. She was doing absolutely nothing in WWE, just sitting wayside for no reason, even though her and Chelsea Green could have been a good women's tag team to bring in for the women's tag team championships, but no, they didn't do it. They decided no. So very happy to see her leave. I wasn't upset about that one because I knew that she was going to go somewhere else and she would be successful. She's done a fantastic job in Impact so far. I didn't like it when they had her drop the title just to win it back, but she's been doing good. And talking about WWE, Taya Valkyrie is supposed to have her contract be ending soon. Where could she be going? Could she be joining her husband, John Morrison, on WWE? It is very possible. A lot of people are speculating that her contract is coming up fairly soon. She said that she signed a contract back in 2018, which would put it to be ending sometime soon. So very interesting. Not sure if she'll stay in Impact. Maybe AEW is interested in bringing in Taya Valkyrie. Certainly, I would imagine that WWE is. Even if WWE is not, I'm sure that John Morrison is interested in getting her there as well. Obi James says, can't forget the fact that Deonna's final match in WWE was getting squashed by Big Oof. Now look at her. Right, man? It's so crazy what you can do with someone just by booking them bad. Look at these people flourishing. Deonna Purrazzo doing fantastic. Eric Young was doing fantastic. He was the Impact World Champion. You just got to use your people better, man. You really just got to use your people. What are your thoughts on NXT Mexico, India, and Japan? All for it, man. All for it. More wrestling is good wrestling. If it helps people live their dreams and helps people pay their bills by doing what they love the most, I'm all for it. All for it. No complaints on that. So anyways, will be interesting to see where Taya Valkyrie ends up going. Like I said, who knows? Maybe she will resign and stay with Impact. Next up, we saw the best cinematic match of all time, where we saw Ethan Page taking on Karate Man, who is definitely not Ethan Page, who could possibly be TJP though. Karate Man may possibly be TJP. I haven't seen them in the same room together. They kind of look similar though. Kind of look similar. Who knows? This was everything I thought it would be. I knew it was going to be really goofy. I knew it was going to be really weird, and it checked all of the boxes for sure. It 100% checked all of the boxes here. There was a lot of good stuff here. I loved when he was like, it was like a Mortal Kombat move or like a Street Fighter move. He was floating in the air on his back, just like bicycle kicking Ethan Page. So that was awesome. That was awesome. Nova says Ethan Page is amazing. He can do comedy and he can wrestle like a madman. Yes. Too short but great. That was a 10-star match. Yeah, it was very short, but I mean, hard to complain about it because this was probably a pain in the ass for him to film. This fight took place like all over the world and tons of different places. It was very fun. It was very fun. It was cool to just kind of sit back and relax and just enjoy something goofy. And I think we all knew it was going to be goofy going into it as well. Anthony says, hey, AEW, I almost forgot about the post show. No worries, my friend. No worries. This is a special one. Special one. So this match didn't have a very nice ending, to say the least. What ended up happening at the very end was Karate Man reached in and ripped out Ethan Page's heart. Ooh. It was a DBZ match. And it ended with another body for Impact. Men, they sure love to kill people. Yeah. Ethan Page is now dead. Rest in peace, Ethan Page. This is another person who is about to be a free agent, I believe. I think that Ethan Page's contract is up here soon, very soon. Obi James says, I have a feeling that Ethan Page made it himself. That's what I'm assuming as well. I'm assuming he made it himself. I saw the video that he made on Twitter of he had Ethan Page. God, I forget his actual name. So he was Ethan Page, the wrestler. He was himself, the vlogger. I can't remember his name. And then he was Karate Man as well. And it was kind of Power Rangers themed. So he was fighting a large swoggle that was destroying a city. So Julian, yes, Julian is the real name. I think he was called Vlogger Julian in it. So he was playing those three characters. They were kind of uninterested. So Karate Man is the one that took on Giant Swoggle to save the city. It was really fun. It was really fun. So after watching that, that's what I expected this to be, and it was spot on. Spot on. Nova says, don't let Vince get a hold of him. Can you imagine what he might do to him? Yeah, but I mean, there's limited places. If he's not going to stay in Impact, you only really have two good options unless you want to go to Japan. WWE or AEW. Right now, I think we all know that AEW is pretty much full. They don't have that much room for other people, especially with all this crossover stuff going on. So who knows? But Ethan Page is awesome, man. He's a good wrestler. He's fun and all of that stuff. So whoever gets him, they're definitely going to get themselves a deal because he's a huge asset to have, and he certainly has a bright future ahead of him as well. Very, very bright future. I loved the North as a tag team from the stuff that I've seen of them. I haven't watched everything that they've done, but the matches that I've seen, they're just so good. They're so good. Marcel says, but WWE is full. Yeah, WWE is full, but they don't give a shit. They don't care. They'll sign you just to sit you on the sidelines, just to sit you in catering. So And WWE is full, but they don't even nearly scrape using the potential of their roster. So they're always hungry to sign people. Maybe they'll use Ethan Page for NXT if he ends up going there. I have no idea. FTR. Man, that was a killer ending. I'll go home. Yes, it was. It was a very killer ending. Nova says, hey, Ethan, let's do some comedy. Such good shit. Yes. FTR versus the North, please. That would be a good one. That would be a good one. That'd be a good one. I could certainly see him staying. I really could. Maybe the whole thing is going to be that Ethan Page's contract is up. And maybe he's just going to be Karate Man from now. Because Ethan Page is dead. He killed him. So maybe this will just be his gimmick going forward. Maybe this is just a fun way to instantly change out his gimmick and just be Karate Man on TV all the time. Could certainly see that happening. Anthony says, I really think Zelina and Aleister will be in Impact. Maybe. We'll find out next month. Next month is, I don't know the exact date, but sometime in February is when Zelina Vega's no compete clause goes bye-bye, and she'll be able to reveal what she's doing next. I believe the groundwork is already laid. I think she's already going somewhere. She's teased it a couple times, and she said that she's excited to let everyone know, and she said she's not done with wrestling. So she's definitely going somewhere. Where, I have no idea, but this is in the same way of Ethan Page. Whoever picks up Zelina Vega or Thea Trinidad, whatever you want to call her, that's a huge asset. Huge asset. She's good at wrestling, and she's one of the best on the mic today. So, and a normal account says, I miss Aleister Black. You and me both, man. I think everyone misses Aleister Black. Someone literally asked about Aleister Black every single post show we have. So I don't see him coming back into action in WWE. Maybe if he can work out a deal, but when his contract expires, I do see him ending up wherever his wife goes. So if she goes to Impact, expect to see him in Impact. If she goes to AEW, I would certainly expect him to go to AEW as well. Who says, I don't think they probably locked down Aleister like Ricochet and made sure he would not leave. Yeah, I'm not sure. One of the things that I don't really focus on or pay attention to is contracts. I never really pay attention or remember things like that. If a big one gets signed, I post them, but I certainly forget. So I couldn't tell you how long Aleister Black is signed for. I couldn't tell you when his contract expires. I couldn't tell you when he signed or anything like that. So who knows? Tommy End in AEW, yes, please. That would be fantastic. But who knows, man? Who knows? We could be seeing a second show from AEW. We're at least supposed to be seeing a second show from them, but they really haven't revealed much about it. Anthony says Carlito will win every title in WWE, NXT, AEW, and Impact. He's going to be the collector now. If Black returns at the Rumble, I'll sleep happily, but there's doubts. Yeah, I have a lot of doubts. But who knows? He very well could show back up at the Rumble. From what I understand, I don't know if this has changed, but WWE is aware that their products suck. SmackDown has been hit or miss lately. This week was a hit. The last two were big misses, unfortunately. But the show after the Royal Rumble, I believe, is where they said that they're going to start focusing and resetting things. So I don't know if they're taking this time to kind of write for the future, or if they're just literally waiting until that day to start planning things, or I have absolutely no clue. But we could be seeing some changes happen after the Royal Rumble. If they don't happen after the Royal Rumble, then they just suck. Marcel says, we have established that Hangman should be the one to beat Omega, but what if Ibushi is an option? That'd be crazy. That'd be very crazy. I haven't considered that at all, to be honest. I haven't considered anyone else winning the AEW World Championship. That would be crazy. We could be seeing some New Japan stuff get involved as well. Let me look on Twitter here to see if Tama Tonga's talking. No, he's probably still sleeping. It's probably, I don't know what time it is in Japan. What time is it in Japan? Oh no, it's noon. It's noon. Well, not noon. It's 2:18 p.m. in Tokyo. So he should be awake. So I don't know. Tama Tonga hasn't tweeted anything yet, but we saw everyone draped in Bullet Club tonight. So be very interesting. Kenny broke his heart. Nilda says, do you think Kenny, the Good Brothers, will go to Japan to join Bullet Club OG? I don't know. I feel like this all could be a work. I feel like all of this Tama Tonga stuff, being mad and stuff, could be a way to get them into AEW as well. I think it is. We could see some form of AEW versus Impact, but then we could also see some form of the Elite Bullet Club taking on the what are they now? The Cutthroat era of Bullet Club? Or are they still the Firing Squad? Or they're not under Evil, are they? So I don't know. Whatever the current formation of the Bullet Club is, taking on the Elite version of the Bullet Club, I could definitely see that happening. We have tons of stuff that we could see, and this whole Elite Bullet Club, the club, whatever the hell that their name is, whatever they're calling themselves, we could see the club taking on like Team John Moxley in a Blood and Guts. We could see the Elite taking on the Firing Squad Bullet Club. We could see the Elite taking on Impact. Tons of things to come from this, and I don't think we scratched the surface. I do think that somehow, some way, New Japan will get involved. I do. Did you see NXT UK Walter vs. A-Kid? I haven't, but I know that it's very good. I've heard that it's very good. I'm not gonna lie, Paul Heyman on Talking Smack elevated some people. He's really good. Yeah, I wish they would do that on the shows as well, because most people don't want to sit in and watch those shows too, especially if they have crowd noise in them. I'm not watching that. Did you see Omega vs. Laredo Kid at Triple Mania last month? It's a must see. I haven't, but I've heard great things about that as well. I wonder what they're going to do with Cruz and Roman. Me too, man. Me too. I hope Apollo Crews does something great. Ken says, off topic, just got here, but WWE finally gets control of the crown like they've always wanted, and they choose to boo Roman Reigns. Props to them. Yeah, but if people were actually in attendance, they would certainly be cheering for Roman Reigns. And welcome to the stream, Ken. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. We are, maybe a little more than halfway done with chatting about Hard to Kill tonight. It was a pretty good show. They still are the Cutthroat era and Firing Squad thing. Okay. So the Cutthroat Firing Squad Bullet Club versus the Elite Bullet Club. I could definitely see that happening. Ryan says, what's up with All Ego resurrected in NXT? What do you mean? I don't quite understand. Next up after this, the greatest cinematic match of all time, we saw a backstage segment with TNA World Heavyweight Champion Moose chatting with Don Callis. This is big. This is big because this is what I've been saying this whole time. The match is not Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann. It's not. The match is Kenny Omega versus Moose. And I'll tell you why. I said this on Wednesday, but if you weren't here on Wednesday, here's a quick little rundown of why I think that is going to happen. One, Moose looks like a goddamn superstar, okay? This man is huge. He's got it, right? He's got it all. So he looks like a perfect challenger for Kenny Omega. Rich Swann, not so much. The TNA World Heavyweight Championship is only here because Tessa Blanchard wouldn't release the Impact World Championship. She was holding it hostage. She would not give it back to them when she parted ways with the company. So they had to bring this title back because they didn't have a world title. So my match sees Kenny Omega defending his AEW World Championship against Moose, who will be defending his TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Kenny Omega will beat Moose. He will have the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And then, since this is not actually an active title on their roster, I don't think that they acknowledge it as a World Championship. Kenny Omega can just vacate it. He can just absolve it. He can absorb it into the AEW World Championship when this is all said and done. And that's just one less L that Kenny Omega has to hold. One less time he has to look up at the lights. Because you have to remember that if Kenny Omega is collecting gold all throughout the world, all throughout all these promotions, he does have to lose them. Or he does have to vacate them, which is probably not the best thing either, because you're going to have a million promotions with no world champions. So this seems like an easy go-to for me. This seems like an easy go-to. They can get this TNA World Championship off of TV. It makes tons of sense. The TNA World Heavyweight Championship is beautiful. I think it would look fantastic with the AEW World Championship as well. I think that's the match. Kenny Omega versus Moose sounds like a huge match. It looks like a huge match. Moose performed like crazy tonight. It was incredible. So that's what I got. That's the match that I got. I've been championing this match for a little bit now. I think it's going to happen. When I saw that Alex Shelley wasn't going to be able to wrestle, yesterday, and they added Moose, I was just Birdman rubbing my hands like this. Can you hear this? No, you can't. There you go. There you go. Birdman rubbing my hands just like that. I said, oh yes, the puzzle pieces are coming into play. It's all happening. It's all happening. Kenny Omega and Moose, that's the match right there. So Moose is going to beat Swan. I don't have Moose beating Swan. I have just Moose losing his championship. The argument here, Rich Swann already lost tonight. Rich Swann is the one that took an L. We haven't talked about that yet. We're not that far. But Rich Swann is the one that got defeated. Kenny Omega can already beat him. He didn't beat Moose. There's Moose's argument right there to get his shot. You are the one that lost. You lost this match for us. Now I'm going to go avenge our company, and I'm going to beat the hell out of Kenny Omega, and I'm going to win the AEW World Championship. Moose had already hinted at showing up at AEW and challenging for the AEW World Championship as well tonight in the backstage segment. So it really all is just falling into place, and I hope that that is the match, because Kenny Omega versus Moose is super appealing to me, and the TNA World Heavyweight Championship just fits in so well with the collection of gold, in my opinion. Because Omega winning the TNA title is like he won the FTW title. There you go. I still want Omega to beat an actual Impact champion. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Maybe he'll win both of them. I don't know. This should have been the Moose that was in Ring of Honor. Glad Moose showed out. Yeah, he did so good tonight, Rated C. He did so good, man. I was very impressed. Even like Moose's entrance, man, it's good. Like his music is good. His presentation is good. Everything is good. He's super athletic. We saw the standing backflip that Apollo Crews does as well. We saw the, he calls it something, but the avalanche Spanish fly on Kenny Omega was fantastic as well. Moose also called Jericho a couple of months ago in his feud with EC3. There you go. There you go. It's all starting to come together. Shelvis says, when I think about the TNA World Championship, I automatically think about Robert Roode, fantastic title run. I would know. I didn't watch TNA at all, unfortunately. A lot of good stuff happened in TNA, it looks like, but I did not watch, unfortunately. Next up, we saw the craziest match of the night. This match was a barbed wire massacre match, which saw the never-ending feud of Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards continue. What these guys have been feuding for 2 years now? 2 years. I don't really pay attention, but I feel like most of the time when I tune in, something is going on with Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan. I have no idea how they're booking this, and I have no idea what is going on. This match was good though. This was good. It was brutal. The ring looked crazy. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they had like a fence on one side, kind of like a steel cage that had barbed wire all over it. They had 2 wooden boards with barbed wire over them. One of the other sides had the ropes wrapped in barbed wire. Then they had like some sort of chain or barbed wire hanging up. They had a kendo stick, a Nintendo 64 controller, a bat, and a steel chair with barbed wire wrapped around it as well. It was crazy visual here. They also had one of the turnbuckles completely wrapped in barbed wire as well. Obi James says Moose with a star-making performance tonight. Absolutely. It's all coming together. Yes, you got to rub your hands together though. Birdman, rub your hands together. It's all coming together. Yes. Impact goes all out when it comes to hardcore stuff. It was good. I liked it. Barbed wire looks so crazy, man. I can't imagine how that feels, piercing into your skin. Oh, God. Marcel says, I swear in 2018 they were feuding. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, it feels like forever. I heard about the bat incident where Sami Callihan literally just whopped him right in the face with it. Hit him right in the head with a bat for real and messed him up. And I feel like ever since then, they've literally just been feuding this entire time. Just watch this feud lead to an eye for an eye match. Nilda says, what if Eric Rowan takes the place as the new leader of the Dark Order? I would love that. I've mentioned that a couple times as well. I think he would be the perfect one to come in there and do it. I really do. No Hack says, Eddie and Sammy have been feuding forever. Sammy has basically stabbed Eddie in the eye with his bat. Pretty sure Sammy has also pile drived Eddie's wife and much other disgraceful acts to Eddie. Yeah, I've seen lots of lots of stuff done from them. They have been on and off for a while now. Yeah, let's see if I can find out when that bat incident happened. Eddie Edwards gets hit in the face with a bat by Sami Callihan. March 1st, 2018. March 1st, 2018. That's when that happened. I'm assuming that this wasn't at the beginning of a feud as well. So these guys have been feuding off and on for almost 3 years. Maybe even 3 years now, depending on how far back that feud actually started. Just a normal account says, oh God, that godforsaken eye for an eye match. Yeah, and that gruesome eye that was just sitting in Rey Mysterio's hand. One of the things that happened in this match, I don't know, maybe No Hacks can give us some information on that. They had a Nintendo 64 controller wrapped in barbed wire. Is that for a reason? Is there a reason why there was a Nintendo 64 controller involved in this match? Is Sami Callihan like a big nerdy gamer or something like that? Or was it a part of a storyline? Is there something about this being involved, or was it just a weird thing that they did? Nilda says, your picks for the Royal Rumble. My Royal Rumble picks are Daniel Bryan, and for the women's, it is Bianca Belair. No Hack says, I actually don't know or remember anything about that. Okay, so maybe just a cool little thing that happened. Maybe Nintendo 64 controllers are like known for being indestructible or something. Kind of like a Nokia phone. Having a Nokia phone wrapped in barbed wire would be pretty brutal. The phones that last for like 50 years. Still alive to this day. Anyways, this was a good match though. We saw Eddie Edwards end up defeating Sami Callihan. At the end of it, Alicia Edwards came out to help him out. Both men were completely down even after the 3. They did a lot of brutal things to each other. Like I was saying earlier, Sami Callihan took a barbed wire wrapped Nintendo 64 controller and was like grinding it on the forehead of Eddie Edwards during the beginning of the match. Eddie Edwards threw Sami Callihan into the barbed wire ropes and put like a the best way to describe it would be barbed wire halo, like put it on his head and started pulling back on his forehead on it. Looked brutal. Cut him open like instantly as well. So we had blood from like the first 60 seconds. Obi James says, I feel like they took a break from that feud because Callahan was champion and had a feud with Tessa and Shamrock. Didn't he have a feud with Pentagon Jr. as well for the championship? Because I feel like I remember watching them on a Slammiversary. It was Pentagon Jr. versus Sami Callahan for the World Championship, I think. At least. Maybe it wasn't. But I remember the match. It was brutal. I think that's the one where he like stapled his head or something. Nilla says, for the women, I got Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is a pretty good choice as well. For me, I got Bianca Belair, and then I have Bianca Belair challenging Sasha Banks for WrestleMania. I think that is a huge match. And RVD just a few months ago. Oh man, I'm tuning into Impact and seeing RVD on screen with all of that. That was too much. That was too much for me. Next up, we saw the logo for Impact Wrestling's next pay-per-view, Rebellion. Something very, very interesting to note about this. Actually, let me just go ahead and save this and pull this on the screen here, just in case some of you haven't seen it. It's not like the biggest thing in the world, but it does kind of let us know what is going on here. Let's see, topic image 13:908. There we go. Okay, I'll leave this up for right now. So this is the Rebellion logo for their next pay-per-view that is going down on Saturday, April 24th. And if you noticed one thing about this, it's that it's got a big ass Omega symbol inside of a golden star. What could this be about? What could all of this be about? Will Kenny Omega be some sort of Impact World Champion at this point? Maybe. But we are kind of far away from April 24th, to be honest. This is around WrestleMania time, though. Can they drag it out for that long? Can they drag it out? I have no idea. But it tells you that we're going to be seeing this for quite a while. This partnership, like I was saying, is probably going to be a slow burn. And I think it's pretty obvious at this point that it is. An Omega symbol on an Impact Rebellion pay-per-view for April 24th. That's 3 months away from now. Just a little bit more than 3 months away from now. What does the star mean? Could that be for someone else? Ibushi? Impact in New Japan and AEW on one pay-per-view? That would be insane. It would be insane. So this is very exciting. I love how they didn't say like really anything about it either. They just like, hey, Impact Wrestling presents Rebellion on Saturday, April 24th, live on pay-per-view. Watch it on Fight TV. Not like, hey, what is this big ass Omega sign doing in the middle of one of your pay-per-views? Very interesting. I think, like I said before, I don't think we've scratched the surface of this crossover just yet. I don't think so. Most of us, I think at the beginning, we were like, okay, this is cool that Impact is getting Kenny, but what is AEW getting? Well, we got the Good Brothers. I still think there's something to go down between Jon Moxley and Sami Callahan as well. They have a long history together as well, so we could very well see them team up, or we could see them butt heads maybe. I don't think that this is over, and I really believe that somehow, some way, New Japan is still going to be involved in this. They have to be. New Japan Pro Wrestling has to be involved in this. They just have to be. I don't understand how they couldn't. Chris Jericho has worked multiple New Japan events. Jon Moxley is the IWGP United States champion. One of AEW's wrestlers is is one of New Japan's champions. There has to be some sort of crossover. There has to be. Part of me says it's going to be Ibushi. Part of me says it's going to be the Firing Squad Bullet Club, Cutthroat Bullet Club. Maybe, hell, maybe all of them. I don't know, but I don't think we've scratched the surface. I think that this is going to go on much longer than we expect. And I think there's going to be a lot more surprises than we expect as well. I wonder what is going to happen at AEW Revolution. There you go, man. AEW Revolution is when? 2021. Let's see. February 27th. So a little bit more than a month from now. And we will have AEW Revolution. We could see Impact working it. Maybe we'll see the World Championship match here between Kenny Omega and Moose, or Kenny Omega and Rich Swann. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe this will just be a normal AEW pay-per-view and someone will come out at the end. Marcelo says Moxley versus Omega is 100% the main event of Revolution. So if we're taking that, which you're probably right, what if we take the main event, Jon Moxley versus Omega for the AEW World Championship, Kenny Omega retains, of course, and then afterwards, he's jumped by Moose. I think that could very well be something that happens. I do. It's got to be Moose, man. It has to be Moose. It would be so good. I think that would be a big surprise as well. The thing that I kind of like about it is that on the AEW side, they're like, ha, these plebs Impact. Like, thank God, Tony Khan said, oh, you know, thank God my grandma gave me a $100 bill in my Christmas card so that I could pay for another Impact ad spot. Taking shots at him. Constantly taking shots. So we have this situation here where AEW is kind of like taking the high road and Impact is just kind of reaping the benefits, right? Even when the Good Brothers showed up, you kind of had Tony Khan, who was kind of like, they were irritated. They didn't seem like they wanted them there. They were frustrated that it was supposed to be an elite match, but it didn't end up happening. So you could have some sort of stuff like this happening. You could even have just a full-on invasion if you wanted to. You could have Moose come in. You could have Moose and Sami Callihan come in. Moose could attack Kenny Omega. Sami Callihan could attack Jon Moxley. This stuff is so exciting because there's so much potential for things to do that you have no idea. Like, we could probably sit here all night and come up with a million different outcomes for Revolution and for Rebellion. There's tons and tons and tons of outcomes. There's tons of exciting dream matches that can happen because of this. So who knows? Who knows? Lots of exciting things. Hopefully something does go down at Revolution. Their AEW was pretty good at doing surprises. So I wouldn't put it past them. Next up here, we saw the main event of the show. This was a good one. We had Moose filling in for Alex Shelley with Chris Sabin and Impact World Champion Rich Swann taking on AEW World Champion Kenny Omega and Impact Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers. Also, I should note that Moose, if you don't already know this, is the TNA World Heavyweight Champion as well. So tons and tons of gold in this match. The only person that did not have gold in this match was Chris Sabin. Lots of gold. This match was incredible. Moose's entrance was killer as well. Then we had the Good Brothers come out, and we all noticed that Carl Anderson was wearing a Bullet Club hoodie. Also, Doc Gallows had a giant Bullet Club logo on his right or left leg. I can't really remember. And then on his singlet as well, it was a Bullet Club logo. And then Kenny Omega came out with a Bullet Club. I mean, it's not really a shirt at this point, but a Bullet Club shirt on, Halloween shirt as well. So big implications here. Are they calling themselves Bullet Club? Can they call themselves Bullet Club? Can they do the Too Sweet? I'm surprised that we haven't heard anything about the Too Sweet yet. Very interesting. Very interesting, because WWE fought it before and they had to do the one sweet. Maybe now that they're backed by the cons, they don't really want to mess with it and they're just going to let it rock. Maybe trying to enforce it would only bring more attention to what's going on with Kenny Omega and the Bucks and the Good Brothers. The universal hand sign. I mean, I've noticed that Don Callis wouldn't do it. Don Callis didn't do it. He was just holding up a finger as well. Maybe the reason that they didn't close the show with that is because Impact didn't want to have to deal with it. I don't know. I don't know what the implications are. I don't know what the laws are. I don't know how you handle these sort of things. I don't know if international laws work. Does New Japan own Bullet Club in the United States as well? Or just in Japan? Maybe they trademarked it here as well. I don't know. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this all unfolds, which is also why I think that there's more to this story. I think there's way more to the story than just AEW and Impact. Anyways, back to this match though. This was a really good match. It was very chaotic though. Very chaotic at times, but everyone brought their A games tonight. This was very fun. This was very entertaining. I really, really enjoyed it. Rich Swann looked good. Chris Sabin looked good, but Moose was the one that stuck out and looked super good. The standing backflip was incredible. The avalanche Spanish fly was really good. And then one of the cool things that I really liked was Kenny Omega gave a V trigger to Moose. Didn't even phase him. He no-sold the hell out of it. Got into his face and he said like, that shit's not going to work on me, or he said that's not going to work on me or something like that. I loved that. Loved it. He ended up getting another V trigger and ended up stunning him as well. But man, I really liked that. Really liked it. No Hack says, I'm pretty sure the way it works is that you can't say Too Sweet because you can't own a hand sign. Oh, well, there you go. That would make sense. Nilda says, I rather what is going to happen between Sting and Darby Allin. I have no idea. I have no clue. But I think Moose having the standout performance in this match kind of just leads to what I've been saying this whole time. The match is Kenny Omega and Moose. Do what you will with it. I think that's the match. If Rich Swann needs to lose the Impact World Championship so it can go on Moose, do it. And then have Omega and Moose for the Impact World Championship. And he can take both of them. I don't care. But the match that I want to see is Kenny Omega and Moose. I think that's the match. I think it's a huge match. I think Moose gets a huge rub from it. Huge rub to be in the ring with Kenny Omega. I mean, look at the people from last week as well. We saw Brian Pillman Jr., Griff Garrison, and Danny Limelight getting a match with Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. Those are dreams right there. Those are dream matches, dream opponents, right there. I'm sure most of the people would just love to stand in the ring with Kenny Omega, let alone wrestle him. So huge accomplishment for those guys right there. This closed the show for the night. And of course, Kenny Omega pinned Rich Swann to get the win for them. The show closed out with the Good Brothers, Kenny Omega and Don Callis walking up the ramp. Don Callis holding up the AEW World Championship right in the front of the camera. And apparently they posted the Too Sweet on Twitter. I wish they really would have closed the show with that. That would have been really good, but it is what it is. Overall, like I said in the beginning, I thought this show was pretty good. It was pretty good. For me, Impact really does a very good job of their pay-per-views. For the pay-per-views that I've watched, I've really enjoyed them. I really have. I think they're good. I think the match quality is fantastic. If only they could execute this well on the shows as well, I'd probably be watching them. I'm certainly going to be tuning in this Tuesday. I'm probably not going to cover the show like completely, but I will be watching because I need to see what happens. There's probably going to be some sort of fallout between Moose and Rich Swann, I would imagine. Rich Swann is the one that lost the match for them. And Rich Swann and Moose are both world champions. So we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be pretty interesting. Shelvis says, how do the Bucks play into all of this? Because Kenny left them high and dry on Wednesday. Exactly. The cool thing is that there's so much story going on here. Not only did Kenny leave the Bucks high and dry, but he also left the Good Brothers. But it also wasn't Kenny, because Kenny was trying to get back in, but Don Callis was pulling out his arm trying to get him through the tube. So there's lots of different things that could play out here. There's lots of different ways that this could go. Of course, in typical Bullet Club fashion, with all of these in those eras of those guys, they're always turning on the leaders. So Bucks don't really trust the Good Brothers. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I could see them not trusting Don Callis as well. I could definitely see that happening. Who knows? There's literally so much stuff that can go down and happen. So I'm very excited right now with the landscape of professional wrestling outside of WWE. I think there's lots of stories to be told. I think there's lots of stars to be made as well, more importantly than anything. We have a lot of fantastic content coming our way in the futures. 100%. Nilda says Dave Meltzer should be proud about the Rebellion S logo. The Omega logo. I think Kenny was just taunting to Rich instead of teasing a turn. Kenny was yelling at someone while he was getting out of the ring. Not sure who it was, because I don't think Rich Swann was in the ring anymore. But man, I'm going to be super excited. Kenny Omega is the AAA world champion as well, but he doesn't really carry it around. I'm not sure why. But I am very excited to see Kenny win his second or third, if you will, world championship and carry it around, or maybe have Don Callis carry it around. Man, we are in for some good content. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see how all of this goes down. I really can't. But unfortunately for AEW and NXT, this coming Wednesday is the presidential inauguration. And I think all hell is supposed to break loose, because this is America and that's what happens here. All hell breaks loose. So it might be a little bit difficult for them to be doing crazy things like this, because their viewership is going to plummet. I would expect NXT and AEW viewership this coming week to just be in the dumps. I really would. So Marcel says, could you imagine if WWE produced AEW level shows and booked them more like AEW? WWE would be gaining viewers. WWE would be so good. Could you, like, aside from like just enjoying WWE, could you imagine a world that you live in where you could watch a fantastic episode of Monday Night Raw, of course on Monday. On Tuesday, you could watch Impact. On Wednesday, you could watch AEW Dynamite. On Thursday, you could watch NXT. And on Friday, you could watch SmackDown. Then we have the weekend off. Saturdays and Sundays are reserved for pay-per-views. So we can have our Impact and AEW pay-per-views on Saturday, and NXT pay-per-views, and have our WWE pay-per-views on Sunday. What an amazing world that would be. What an amazing world. I want to see Cody get involved with the storyline. He could. Hangman's probably not going to get involved, obviously, because he's dealing with the Dark Order stuff. It could be possible that he says, hey, I can't join Dark Order right now. I can't help you. I can't lead because the Bucks need me. I need to go do this Bullet Club stuff. That's possible. Maybe Marty Scurll would make his debut in AEW. I'm not sure what the temperature is here for Marty Scurll. I don't know if he's going to return to wrestling. I don't know if he's kind of banished for a while. I'm not sure. So lots of things. Cody, obviously, another one as well from Bullet Club. Marcel, people would be pissed off if Cody joins the storyline because he's Cody. People hate Cody Rhodes just because he breathes. Same with Brandy. Like, their existence for some reason just bothers people. I have no idea why. I never really understood. I don't get it. I don't get it. A perfect wrestling world, but that first one, a good Monday Night Raw show, is a little far off. Yeah. It would be much better if it was 2 hours as well instead of 3. But you know, that was a dream week for me. How about Marty Scurll debut in AEW soon? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like Rated C says, Marty might not because of the speaking out movement. Might not. They think that Cody is Triple H and he buries people. That's why I saw so many people that were like, oh, Cody won the title back so that he could just bury everyone, bury Brody and bury Darby. Cody lost to Darby. Not only did he lose to Darby and put him over, this man grabbed the TNT Championship, got down on one knee, and presented it to him. Like, what more do you want? What more could you ask for? These people at the end of the day are fantastic wrestlers. So the whole thing before was, oh, well, this Kenny Omega that you have right now, he's not that New Japan Kenny Omega. He's trash. Like, Kenny Omega's not even the world champion. Oh, the Young Bucks, they're not even the world champions. They're not like what they used to be. And then it's like, oh, okay, Cody got a championship match. And then they're like, oh, well, of course, the executive vice president just booking himself into the world championship match. Now he's going to bury, I can't remember who was the champion at the time, Chris Jericho or Jon Moxley. He's just going to put him over and put the title on himself. And then he made the stupid stipulation of not being able to challenge for it. He lost. Didn't really see people be like, oh, okay, cool. He won the TNT Championship, was a workhorse with the TNT Championship, helped create prestige for it. People complained about that. Now, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are champions in AEW, and they're like, of course. They're champions in their own promotion. They created their own promotion so they could just have belts. And it's like, oh my God, you guys. Can you just stick to your story, please? Is this not the New Japan Kenny Omega you've been wanting? You've been saying that he's been lackluster. He hasn't been good. You want the cleaner. You want him to be the best bout machine. He does it, and then it's like, oh, but when he's the vice president, so like, shut up. Shut up. Rocco says Cody losing to Brody and Darby made them legit stars. That was huge for Brody, man, to be the TNT champion. That was awesome. That was awesome. I didn't like that Brody lost the TNT championship, but he could have very well lost it for a very specific reason. Maybe he wasn't healthy enough to carry on, and that's why Cody had to take it back from him. But we will always have that dog collar match. That was a fantastic match. Both of those men did an amazing job. And that was Brody's last match. So we can always remember that. And because of his TNT championship reign, -1, his son, Brody Jr., will forever be the TNT champion with the red strap. So iconic stuff, man. Iconic stuff for forever. And I don't know, man. He put Darby over afterwards, presented him the champion, told him that he is a superstar in the making, and you know, one day he will be TNT champion and he will be the face of TNT. But he was like, nah, not now. But he did beat him, so it was good. Now he's working with Sting. That's huge, man. That's huge. Kenny's reign has been incredible so far. Yeah, Kenny Omega is the best thing going on in wrestling right now. Arguably, you could say Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and Kenny Omega are number one going on. How about Kenny and the Good Brothers versus Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jay White? There you go. There you go. Rated C says -1's birthday this Wednesday as well. Yes. It's going to be awesome. Gonna be awesome. Woo says if that was the case for every promotion, Vince would be holding all champions. There you go. I missed the open challenges too, no hacks. It was cool. Like, I like how AEW did the open challenges with Cody, where it was underrated people coming out and giving fantastic matches. That's how you make and break people right there. Scorpio Sky coming out and putting out a fantastic match with Cody Rhodes is incredible. I tell this to people all of the time. A loss is a loss, right? If that's a disqualification, if that's a distraction roll up, if that's a count out, if that is getting pinned clean, a loss is a loss. Okay? Period. That's what it is. But There is a difference between getting squashed in 2 minutes and going 10 to 20 minutes with one of the best. You can't tell me that someone, we'll use Moose for an example because he's the one that I want to see take on Kenny. You can't tell me that if you put Moose and Kenny Omega in the ring and Moose holds on for 20 minutes, that doesn't make him look incredible. Going up against one of the best wrestlers in the world, holding your own for 20 minutes against one of the best does not make you a loser per se. That makes you look strong. That is how you build up people right there. That is how you build them up. Losing in 2 minutes, if this match started, Moose ate 5 V-triggers and then got one winged angeled and it was over, Moose looks like a dork, like a big loser. Very, very different if you can hang though. Very, very different. Also, do you think Darby Allin is a younger Jeff Hardy? Yeah, I mean, the similarities are there for sure. They definitely are. I still, to this day, I would love to see Jeff Hardy in AEW with his brother. I would love to see one last run of the Hardy Boys. And I would love to see Jeff maybe be a mentor for Darby or maybe even team up with Darby. That'd be cool. But I think Jeff just signed a 3 or 5 year deal with WWE. So that could probably well be his last one. Marcel says AEW wins and losses really feel they matter more. In WWE, like Naka lost to Otis in 5 minutes and 2 weeks later, he's getting a big push. Like what? Yeah, I mean, it's really all it kind of takes though in those moments. Like you can be made in an instant, you can be broken in an instant. But since this isn't real life and this is all kind of booked, they should make it make a little bit more sense. Their booking literally makes no sense. I'm not sure if they had planned on Nakamura to get over quotes so much with the crowd and with the internet and stuff like that, but it happened. It seems like anytime the WWE wants to push someone, put them in a gauntlet match and let them run it. Last time, it propelled Kofi Kingston to a WWE Championship reign. It propelled him to Kofi Mania. Now you had Nakamura running a gauntlet, getting screwed in the end. Nakamania is the thing going on. People want to see Shinsuke Nakamura win the Royal Rumble. Again, people want to see Shinsuke Nakamura become WWE champion or Universal champion as well. So I guess if WWE wants to make stars, put them in gauntlet matches. If they start doing a bunch of gauntlet matches, you know what's going on. Rocco says, I think Hangman will be a part of the Bullet Club storyline because I don't think they want to give the Dark Order like a new leader. And I think Hangman will join the storyline along with Cody. He could. I'm very interested in seeing what they do. I'm very interested in seeing what they do with the Dark Order. Wednesday Night Dynamite is going to be a big show. We do get the answer for that. And we're probably going to see some fallout for this Impact's Hard to Kill show as well. We'll probably see some fallout from Impact's show as well on Tuesday. I'm not sure if Impact has teased Kenny and the Good Brothers Good Brothers work there. So I'm not sure if they've teased Kenny Omega for the show or not quite yet, because I've been on here since the minute the show ended. So we'll see. But I think Dynamite's going to be big this week. Big. No Hack says the Open Challenge made one of the best promos of 2020 with the Kingston debut promo. Oh yeah, dude. Oh, Eddie Kingston is so good, man. So good. I love Eddie Kingston. Rated C says Ethan Page Twitter location said a dead. Where will he go? Interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure if you were here earlier when we were talking about the Ethan Page and Karate Man match. One of the things that I was saying is that he could very well go to WWE or AEW, but they're kind of both full. Everyone's kind of full at the moment. So my guess, if I had to guess, is that maybe Karate Man killed off Ethan Page and Ethan Page won't be signing a new contract with Impact. It'll be Karate Man. So maybe this was just a fun, interesting way for him to change his gimmick. That's a guess that I have. I think that would work just fine. I think Ethan Page staying in Impact is probably best for him at the moment. I don't see him doing anything crazy in AEW, and I don't see him doing anything crazy in WWE. WWE would probably throw him in NXT, which isn't bad. That's their A show. But I think he probably has more creative freedom in Impact. I mean, hell, look at what we just watched tonight. This looks like it was made by him on some sort of Mac computer. So, Nilda says there are rumors that Randy Orton will join Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Royal Rumble second record win. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. Shelvis says I really want Mox and Darby to be a tag team. I would be down with that. I think Jon Moxley has said that he wants to start doing some tag team stuff as well. So that could be a possibility. I was thinking maybe if it's not Darby, it could be Sami Callihan. That was one of my guesses. Who knows? Lots of exciting stuff though. The road ahead for professional wrestling looks fantastic. As I was saying before, we have a lot to look forward to. I am very, very excited for it. Rated says Paige did it on his YouTube channel as well. So yeah, I'm assuming he probably has something to work out with them. Either that or they're trying to keep him to where they're like, yeah, we'll air this shit on our pay-per-view. That's fine. I don't know how long you guys have been following me for, but when Dean Ambrose was leaving WWE, until the moment we saw him debut in AEW, I said it was work. I thought it was all fake. I thought that he was certainly staying, but it turns out that WWE wanted him to stay so bad that they were just doing anything and everything that they possibly could. So it led me to believe that it was all a work. All a work. Rocco says All Out. I believe it was Double or Nothing. Wasn't it? Pretty sure. Because I was there. It was crazy. Yeah, it had to have been Double or Nothing because he DDT'd Kenny Omega on the chips. But yeah, I was there for that in the crowd. I was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 rows back on the floor. And we're sitting there, me and my fiance, and like people are just losing their shit on the right side of the arena. But we couldn't see him. Everyone was standing up, and so we're like looking around, and then he showed up, and I was just literally blown away. It was incredible. I'll never forget that night. I will never forget Double or Nothing. That was an incredible night for me, and an incredible night for my fiance. The atmosphere of being at AEW's first pay-per-view was insane. Absolutely insane. We were going to try to go to All In, but I was like, meh. I don't think it's going to be that cool. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I really regretted it not going, but being able to go to AEW's actual first pay-per-view was incredible. The atmosphere was crazy. It was just so much fun. And we ended up going to All Out as well in Chicago, which was a lot of fun as well. Rated C says also, Santana and Ortiz should really win on Wednesday, and it's crazy how they didn't become AEW Tag Team Champions. I hope Santana and Ortiz win as well. They really should. I hope that they don't consider any other outcome. Santana and Ortiz are the tag team. They've been tagging for a very long time. I don't know. Maybe they won't win and it'll start causing even more troubles in the inner circle and they'll slowly start crumbling. I'm not sure though. I am not sure. Like I said, we have a lot of stuff to look forward to. There's a lot of good content on the way. Tuesday and Wednesday. Should be paying attention. Maybe not have to watch all of them. I certainly will be covering NXT and Dynamite like usual, but Impact, I'll be on standby. I'll be checking it out, and if anything important happens, I will definitely let everyone know if you are busy or you can't tune in for those. So that is going to call it for me tonight. I cannot believe that I had a 2-hour post show for an Impact pay-per-view, considering that I don't even watch Impact, but long story short, it was a good show. If you like Impact and you didn't watch it, I definitely recommend checking it out. It was very fun. Lots of good matches and lots of stuff going to be going down in the future. Rated C says, since AEW and Impact have a partnership, what if they traded some talent? I would love to see that. Would love to see some talent going over and working in other companies when there's nothing for them to do in their current company. That would be fantastic. Also, before I go, if you are here and you are not already subscribed, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We started off somewhere around 930 something. We are on the road to 1,000 and we're almost there. We are almost there. Also, make sure to please hit that like button when this show is done being live and gets published. It tells everyone that it's good stuff. Oh, wait, no. It tells everyone that it is such good shit. And then it gets promoted on YouTube. More promotion means more shows, means more good content, means more good conversations. Thank everyone for tuning in. I appreciate it. And I will see you all on Monday for the Raw post show. Have a good night. Peace.